Now we're starting on the road immediately outside the test centre car park in Irvine, and we're going to do one of the Kilwinning test routes, one of the more challenging ones, which is the feedback I get from my clients. And we'll start with a bit of sat-nav driving. So I'm going to follow the sat-nav for the first 20 minutes or so. So first gear, find the biting point, checking my observations, right round to my blind spot, no following traffic, oncoming traffic, so I'm going to put a signal on just to let them know I'm committing myself to move away from the curb line.
Then take first exit.
So at the roundabout I'm going to take the first exit off to the left. And we're approaching a 40 limit. So internal mirror, left door mirror, signal left. This is quite a nasty junction as it goes uphill and it's quite close to the right with the trees, but I'm taking extra care to check that it's clear as I make my progress. Now we've got a double roundabout ahead.
Enter roundabout, then take first exit.
So first exit, 2 mirrors, internal and left, signalling left. It's clear, very open view of the roundabout. Signal back on as I've not exited the roundabout yet. Cancelled itself there, so always use your ears on the roundabouts for your signals cancelling earlier than you expect them to. Slip road to join the dual carriageway.
Then take third exit.
Good mirror use and a good quick blind spot check to make sure it's safe before moving on to the first lane proper. 300 yards from a junction, and we're going to take the third exit off to the right, so internal mirror, right door mirror, and signal to the right, and then position myself to the right. Nice open view of the roundabout, but the van ahead is stationary, so nice and slow. Second gear, double checking, triple checking, making sure it's still safe to my right. Approaching in the right hand lane means I'm going to take the right hand lane on the roundabout. So I've passed the first exit, TNT van's taking the second exit, so internal mirror, left door mirror, signal left, move across nice and early into the left hand lane and exit on the left hand lane. So this is an acceleration lane to join the dual carriageway again, so cancel signal, checking my mirrors, building my speed up, making sure no one's overtaking me. And then as I get to where the road merges, again, good mirror use, internal, right door mirror, I lean forward, look into your right door mirror, maybe even a quick blind spot check again.
Drive 2 miles, then exit left.
Always be careful joining fast moving roads from a slip road. Make sure you get very good use of your mirrors, and if you need that blind spot check, very quick, effective check over your shoulder. Right, speed limit 70 miles an hour. I've got traffic in the middle lane overtaking me, not necessarily at a greater speed that I'm doing, but for that reason and for the van ahead, I'm not going to take up to the full 70 miles an hour. I'm happy with the van speed, and I'm happy that I'm just going to keep a 2-second gap behind them.
In 1.1 miles, exit left, then enter roundabout.
So it's a nice dry day, so a 2-second gap is sufficient for this road, or sufficient for this road and these conditions. If it was wet or raining, then I'd be leaving a 4-second gap behind the van. Now eventually the red car that was in the middle lane is starting to pass and overtake me. I'm taking the next exit, so I'm going to stay in this lane in preparation for that.
Exit left, then enter roundabout.
So we're 300 yards away from this lane becoming its own road and separated away from the main dual carriageway. We're now 100 yards away from that, and we can see the hazard on the left hand side, so checking my mirrors, moving out slightly. There we go.
Then to roundabout, then take first exit.
We've got a lane joining us from the left, and as I approach the roundabout, want to take that first exit, I'm going to need to go into that lane. So 2 mirrors and door mirror to the left, signalling left, moving across. Taking the first exit of the roundabout. A lot of trees to my right, so it's going to be very closed. So internal mirror, left door mirror, signal left. Slowing down, planning to stop but looking to go. Black car still hard on the brakes here. He's now released his brakes, so it's safe for him to go. I have a double check to my right, make sure it's safe for me to go as well. And it is. Round the bend, we've now got a two-way road, we're no longer on a dual carriageway. And we're approaching the roundabout, the speed limit's 30 miles an hour.
Then to roundabout, then take fourth exit.
So internal mirror, right door mirror, signal right, the fourth exit is round to my right. Positioning right, good open view of the roundabout, so clear to go. The earlier you can see, the earlier you can make your mind up about what to do. So, an expression I use quite often is early vision, early decision. Speed limit is changing to 40 miles an hour, so I can now check my mirrors and squeeze the gas. Car in front is braking, I can now see why, it's traffic lights ahead. And the lights are at red at the moment, so I'm no longer accelerating up the hill. I've just let the weight of the car take me up the hill and its current momentum. The lights are now changed to green, so checking my mirrors, no following traffic. If the lights change quickly again, I've got time to stop, time to stop, time to stop, now past my point of no return. So if they change to amber, I've committed to going. Just through the trees there, I can see that the speed limit is now changing to 30. So I didn't get much above 30 as I came down the hill anyway. So just a quick check of my speedo and maintain my current speed. Brake lights ahead. And just further up beyond those cars there's vehicles turning right. That's why there was brake lights. So there must be stationary traffic waiting to turn right. That's now cleared. And the vehicles ahead are now making progress, so I've checked my mirrors and I can gently squeeze back on the gas again. Haven't needed to change gear, didn't change my speed by that much because I was planning ahead enough that I could just ease off the gas and react. Further ahead I've now got traffic lights again, and they are at red. There's a pedestrian just started his crossing. Just the one pedestrian, so I suspect that the lights will change again in time for me to get to make progress and not have to come to a complete stop again, and that is the case. I've now changed to green, so another check in my mirror
at destination
and another slight squeeze of the gas pedal. So the absence of planning ahead might have meant that you would have to change gear 2 or 3 times there. I haven't needed to change gear once so far. I'm going to take the next road on the right, so 2 mirrors, signal right, signalled a wee bit earlier than normal because it's on the bend. I don't want traffic behind me coming round the bend and then seeing my signal. This is a tight turn, trying not to cut the markings. I'm in second gear, and this is a very, very blind bend to the left. Quite a popular road for test routes, this one. There's quite often parked cars on the opposite side of the road. There's one there, sometimes that's closer to the bend. So I was down into first gear to take that bend there.
Turn right.
On the hill here, just under the tree, you might be asked to stop, do the hill start on the test. I'm not going to demonstrate that just now. Not a good thing to demonstrate just on camera. You want to be able to see your feet to demonstrate it properly, so we'll do that face to face. Now, very close junction, park cars right up to the corners of both sides, so I'm crawling out with quite a bit of caution here. I'm happy that it's clear to my left. Yes, I'm happy now it's clear to my right. Quite a bumpy road, so look out for potholes that might be deeper than they appear, especially if it's wet and it's puddles.
Arriving at destination on left.
Difficult to tell how deep the pothole is if it's already filled with water. So I'm checking my door mirrors regularly here as I'm moving in and out, changing my position to drive along this road. Going to take the next road on the left, so 2 mirrors,
Turn
internal
left.
and left, signalling left. Taking it nice and wide because of the parked cars, having a good look round the bend. Looking up the inside view of the van, I don't see any oncoming cars or hazards, so I'm committing myself to the space, but albeit I'm still moving at a slow pace where I can react. Now got an oncoming car, so no accelerating at this point. The oncoming car is now stationary, so I'm going to put a signal on to let that white car know that I'm committing myself to the space. It's a taxi driver and I think he's double parked, so I'm going to cancel my signal and I'm going to move into this space and wait for the congestion to clear. So handbrake in neutral, both feet off the pedals and relax. Taxi driver is reversing out of the situation. So into first gear, checking my mirrors, all round to my blind spot, over my right shoulder, handbrake off and carry on. Going to take the next road on the left. It's immediately after this bend, so internal mirror, left door mirror. Be aware of the debris on the road. I think it was just a blue scarf or cloth, but be aware because it could have been a bag of nails. I've got time to overtake this van and move back in again before the oncoming car
Arriving at
approaches.
destination.
On this stretch of road, it's quite often you'll be asked to do a parallel park. Not demonstrating that in this drive. I'll demonstrate manoeuvres in another video.
Turn right, then turn left.
So at the end of the road, I'm going to turn right and then left. Demonstrating manoeuvres on video, or certainly on a dash cam, is actually not great. You'd need multiple cameras to hammer home certain points, so I might not even cover any manoeuvres on videos. Now this is a tricky, tight couple of turns.
Turn left, then turn left.
Make sure you do them at walking pace. And then on this stretch of road, depending on the time of day and the time of the year, it can be very busy with parked cars picking up kids from school or dropping kids off at school. Because the school ahead on the right hand side doesn't have a large car
Turn
park.
left.
So I've got time to move out and I'm going to move back in again now. Be prepared to stop. Into first gear, the car ahead is now turning so I can make progress, checking my right door mirror, safe to move back out again, and then take this left hand turn that the sat nav's asked me to do. Internal mirror, left door mirror before that signal. And it goes uphill here, so up into second gear. Bit of acceleration up the hill, up into third gear. Parked cars on the left hand side. The blue car ahead has already moved into the opposite side of the road. I'm just going to lift my head up, look over the hill as early as I can again.
Turn left, then turn left.
And it's safe to move out, and I'm going to turn left and then turn left again. Now this left hand turn is very, very closed. It's a brick building to your right. It's a parked car on the left that doesn't make it any easier. So hard stop. At this point my bumper is in line with the giveaway markings, right on top of it, and I still can't see to my right. So off the brakes, letting the car roll forward, the clutch is fully at the carpet, so gravity's rolling me forward here, which is a good thing in this occasion. I don't have to try and balance the clutch, and I can now see that it's safe. But I was a good half a car length onto the road there before I could commit myself to that space. Taking the next road on the left. Tight downhill turn to the left hand side. Park cars immediately as I turn the corner, but it's safe to overtake them. Got some construction workers on the left doing some roofs or whatever.
Arriving at destination on right.
And again, no oncoming cars, so checking my right door mirror and moving out. And I'm just going to stay in this side of the road all the way down to the end of the street now, unless there's any hazards forcing me in. No point moving in to move back out. There's a cyclist on the road, young kid, but unsteady on his bike, that's fine. Kids will be kids. At the end of the road I'm going to turn right, but notice the parked car towards the end of the road. And notice my position on approach at the moment. There's absolutely nothing though, other than these pedestrians, stopping me from getting back into my correct side of the road to position myself for the right hand turn. Looking left and right, both ways twice, and it's safe to proceed. I'm taking the next road on the left. That's the end of the sat-nav drive. Now when you come into the end of a road when there's a parked car forcing you into the right hand side on approach, watch you don't fall into the trap of staying on the right hand side all the way to the end of the road. If you can get back into the left, or even if it's only by maybe half a car width, get back into the best position possible for the turn. Try not to block the road off from people turning into the side street that you're leaving. And following the bend up to the left, some parked cars on the right, so not accelerating too hard up this hill, giving myself time to react in case anyone was coming down on the opposite side of the road. Checking my right door mirror to move out to overtake parked vehicle, not needing to signal, no following traffic, and I didn't change my speed by that much either, so it's just a natural drift to the right and drift back to the left. At the end of the road I'm going to turn left. So internal mirror, left door mirror signalling left. Fairly good view to the right, but I'm slowing it down because of the brick building just holding all the electrics or whatever it is, sort of power unit, and I'm now coming to a complete stop because there's also a van approaching from the right. So it was a relatively open junction to begin with, but as I got closer to it, that sort of sub-unit, a power unit, just blocked my view, and it blocked my view enough to make me doubt whether it was safe. And if in doubt, chicken out. Don't go for it. Always make sure it's safe. So as I go downhill, being aware of the young kids on the left hand side, because only one's holding the parent's hand. And at the end of the road I'm going to turn left. Now this is an interesting junction, particularly on this test route, because I can see the stop sign. So I'm going to have to stop, whether I like it or not. Internal mirror left or mirror signal left. But at this particular junction, it's very, very open. And I can see very, very clearly to my right if it would be safe to go or not go. But yet I still have to come to a complete stop. As it turns out, there was enough traffic on the road that I would need to stop anyway. But watch you don't fall into the trap of looking up the hill to your right. If there's no traffic coming, then making progress and not coming to a complete stop. The road sign on the road tells you to stop, you must stop. You will fail your test by not coming to a complete stop, even if it's only for half a second. As long as your wheels stop moving and then you move off again safely in first gear, then that'll be sufficient for the examiner. Cyclist has thankfully moved off the road onto the pavement because it was quite difficult for me to judge whether it was safe to overtake on a bend there, so I can make progress now. Traffic lights ahead, nobody waiting to cross, so I'm not expecting the lights to change. So up to 4th gear I go. Nice long straight road, no parked cars on my side of the road. The parked cars that are on the opposite side of the road that are safely all on the pavement. So any oncoming vehicles shouldn't be changing the position as they approach me. Got traffic lights ahead again, they're green, and from what I can see, certainly no pedestrians on the right hand side waiting to cross. As I get a bit closer, I'll check the left hand side. Possible cyclists on this road, warning sign there. That's because this pedestrian crossing is a token crossing, which allows cyclists to cycle across because it's on a well-known cycle path. Right, just checking my speed there. Got a bit keen, I think I got to 31 miles an hour there. Oops, so it's only 30, but I'm now approaching the 40, and I'm going to turn left at the traffic lights ahead. So check my mirrors, accelerating, now that I'm into the 40. I can drive through the bus stop here, there's no bus in the bus stop and it's a broken line, so internal mirror, left door mirror. Perfectly safe and legal to drive through the bus stop on this occasion. As long as I'm not stationary within the bus stop area, that's fine. At the roundabout ahead, I'm going to be taking the first exit off to the left. So it's a bend and approach, so checking my mirrors and braking. As I go around the bend, I'm now checking my mirrors again and signalling left. Following the bend to the left, choosing a gear to suit my speed and the traffic. I'm going to take this gap after the silver Golf, and away I go in second gear. Put my signal back on, it's cancelled itself. So just putting it back on to confirm I'm taking this first exit. Exiting in the left hand lane. And I'm going to take the slip road on the left as well. So, following the curb line, get across the broken line as early as you can, and use the curb line to position yourself against. That way you will naturally fall into the left hand lane again when the road splits like this into two lanes. So building my speed up to a maximum of 70 miles an hour. It is a two-lane road, there's no oncoming cars, so it's treated as a dual carriageway, but this road sign here now is telling me two lanes become one, and we've now got oncoming traffic on a two-way road. So I'm reducing my speed, initially to 60 and now to 50 to suit the speed limit. And at the roundabout, I'm going to take the second exit straight ahead towards Irvine. As I approach, I don't see that there's multiple lanes on approach, but I'm going to stick to the left hand side as much as I can. So I don't need to stick to the left hand lane as such, but just stick to a safe position within the roundabout. Accelerate up through the gears, up to a maximum of 50 miles an hour. A long sweeping bend to the right. I've now got a roundabout ahead, reduce speed now, and the roundabout sign has 5 exits on it. I'm going to take the fourth one, which is slightly off to the right towards 1 o'clock, as a clock face scenario. So it's 1 o'clock, just beyond 12, so off to the right. Very open view, very clear to go, didn't need to change gear. Past the first exit. Past the second. Now I'm passing the third, so internal mirror, left door mirror, signal left, move across the left hand lane, safe and appropriate to do so, and exit cleanly, and build your speed up again. Pedestrian crossing, no pedestrians waiting to cross, and the speed limit is 40 miles per hour now. Got a traffic calming measure here, I'll be able to negotiate that with without reducing my speed too much, at 35 miles an hour. At the roundabout ahead, I'm going to be taking the third exit, which is pretty much straight ahead, signposted for Kilmarnock. Sort of halfway between 11 and 12 o'clock again if you're using the clock face. So I'm going to approach in the left hand lane, but I'm not going to signal left just yet. Can't see that it's safe to go yet, and there's stationary traffic in front of me already, so mirrors, brake, look to my right. It's not safe to go. There's a motorcyclist hidden by the tractor that's just exited the roundabout. There's the motorcyclist passing now, I would expect, in the camera, and it's now clear to go. Immediately past the first exit, accelerating cleanly out the roundabout. Second exit, internal mirror, left door mirror, signal left. Car in front is also signalled left, but they're stuck to the overtaking lane, so I'm happy with that. They were on my right hand side on approach to the roundabout, if you might remember. So it's not the ideal route through the roundabout, but not necessarily illegal. Going to go straight ahead at this roundabout. It's the second exit. It's very open. So checking my internal mirror, braking to set the speed of the traffic in front. Make sure they safely get away, planning to stop but looking to go. My limit point is the back of the Swift, because if they stop I'll have to stop, even if the roundabout was clear. The roundabout is now clear, and it's clear for me also, so I'm going to make progress. It's second gear, didn't come to a complete stop. Got an Audi pulling out from left hand side of the lay-by, but it's quite a fast car, so I suspect they'll pick up the speed quite quickly. Speed limit is now 50 miles an hour as well, so I'm building my speed up to 50. And at the roundabout I'm going to take the third exit off to the right, so internal mirror, right door mirror and signal to the right. Cancel my signal, because I've moved position. As I get closer to the roundabout I can reapply my signal to confirm I'm going off to the right. So internal mirror again, right door mirror, braking to suit the traffic in front again. They had a better view of the roundabout than me because they were closer to it, so if they've decided to slow down, I'm going to have to slow down. Safe for them to go, but not quite safe for me yet. Now it's safe for me, and I've had to second gear. Now I'm not going to go across that line into the right hand lane. I'm just going to stay on this lane. It's a spiral roundabout. 2 mirrors and signal left, and you'll notice that without crossing the white line and sticking to my lane, it's actually taking me to where I wanted to go, which was the third exit off to the right. I'm going to take the next road on the left. 2 mirrors, internal and left, signal left. Braking, down to second gear. Turning the corner, noticing the 30 limit right on the corner there. This is where a lot of people miss the speed limit signs. Speed limit signs tend to change at junctions. People don't see the speed limit signs because they're too busy dealing with the junction itself. And a very slight shimmy to the right there. I don't know if that was picked up on the camera, but the black car that was approaching from the left, the driver was clearly knew he was coming up to a giveaway. He was slowing down, but he was predominantly looking to his left, so he hadn't seen me. So I was just gingerly moving slightly to the right, just in case he turned his head towards my direction a bit too late and then had to brake a bit late. Now the speed limit is 30, as I said, as I turned at the top of the street. So making progress along this road. It looks like it could be a 40. In years gone by it was actually a 60. My sat nav is so out of date it still says it's a 60. So there's just another reason there not to rely on your sat nav. It is a really useful guide to help you get places. but never rely on it. It's no substitute for reading road signs and road markings. So we're approaching the test centre. The test centre's on the right hand side. The car park will be closed, so I'm not going to try and pull in. I'm going to pull over and stop on the left hand side, just outside the car park area. So internal mirror, signal left. Don't always need to signal when you're stopping, but there is a vehicle following behind. Braking now to a stop, nice and close to the curb line. Handbrake, neutral, cancel the signal, relax my feet and await the next instruction.